What's going on, guys? Stefan, S&E's Garage. In this video, we're going to go ahead and dump the 7-year-old coolant out of our GS-F. We're going to fill it up with some nice, fresh Toyota Super Long Life coolant. Alright guys, so as you saw in our last video with the GS-F, we went ahead and we used a borescope or an inspection camera. And we went ahead and we took a peek under the intake manifold to inspect our valley plate, which is a very common leak with the 2UR GSE, or really any UR Series V8 engine. You'll find these in the Sequoias, in the Tundras, in the Lexus. They're actually in several Lexus models. But the valley plate is kind of it's a stupid design because there's no actual gasket that protects this valley plate from leaking. It's all RTV. And coolant after a while becomes acidic. And once it becomes acidic, it starts to eat at gaskets and silicones and things like that. So we're going to prevent that by, basically we're going to drain the coolant, fill it back up. I bought several gallons of this stuff. I bought 3 gallons of it. So I'm not going to go ahead and drain the block drains because they're a little bit of a pain in the ass to get to, and half the time they don't even work. They're usually seized. So we're going to do a drain and fill. We're going to drive it for a couple weeks. We're going to do another drain and fill, drive it for a couple weeks, and then we're going to do that once more, and that's going to go ahead and ensure that we have all fresh new coolant in this thing. I am only going to show you how to do this process once. If you want to do it more on your car like we're doing on this, you would just repeat this process. So the first thing we need to do is jack the front of the car up, and we need to remove the lower belly pan, the upper, the closest to the front of the car. And that's going to give us access to the radiator drain. Now, first and foremost, you want to do this on a cool or cold engine. It doesn't have to be stone cold. But you just want to make sure that your cooling system isn't under pressure. So if you just go ahead and grab your upper or lower hose and drop your coolant and then give it a squeeze, as long as that hose is soft, you're good to go. This car does not use an overflow style system. It basically has a degas bottle. That's what I like to call these. It's basically a pressure vessel, so there is no radiator cap. This is your radiator cap. So just be very careful when you open this up. I did drive this about an hour ago, so this might be under a little bit of pressure. Just open it slow. You might hear it hiss a little bit when I open it up. Like that. But again, cool engine. This one's not exactly cool. But if we look down in there, let me grab a flashlight. Let's see if there's any residue in this degas bottle. So this coolant actually looks relatively clean, but again, looks can be deceiving. So let's go ahead, jack this thing up, start draining. Alright guys, so to remove this, there's just a series of 10mm bolts. I see 1, 2, 3, 4 up front, and then 1, 2, maybe 3 or 4 body clips up under here. So let's go ahead, let me get it out, and then I'll show you exactly what we had to remove. Alright guys, so I had thought this was a 2-piece underbody shield. I thought that the front was a piece and the back was a piece. I was wrong, it is not. This is all the hardware we had to remove. Several 10mm bolts. These were the ones from the front bumper. These were assorted all around it. We have a couple of body clips. We broke one of them, the one in the center, so I do have to replace that. But one good thing that I'm seeing here is there's no signs of any leaks. So now that we got that off, I can show you exactly where your drain is for the radiator, and that's this guy right here. So we're going to go ahead, open that up, and we're going to let it start draining. Alright guys, you'll see here we have it draining. We're just going to go ahead and let it drain until it stops. Alright guys, so we are just about done draining here. All I did is I lowered the car a little bit just to get more of the coolant to be towards the front of the car, you know, out of the engine as much as I could. We actually got a decent amount out of it. So what we're going to be doing to fill this is, technically there is an air bleeder back here on top of the radiator right here. We're not going to be utilizing that. What we are going to be doing is vacuum filling this system. So we're going to be using our Airlift. This thing has saved me, or made me, a bunch of money and saved me a ton of time when I was at the dealership, because it completely and utterly eliminates the need to burp your cooling system, because it basically puts it under a vacuum and then the coolant rushes in and fills all of those voids. So it is the foolproof way to make sure you have no air bubbles, or what is known as airlock, in your cooling system. So I'm going to go ahead and set you up on the tripod. I'm going to teach you exactly how to use this, and then I'm going to leave one in the video description below for if you want to purchase one. So let's go ahead, let me get you on the tripod. We're just going to crawl under there, close that drain, and we're going to vacuum fill the system. Alright guys, so here we have our Uview, basically vacuum cooling system filler. I actually still have the stickers on this, believe it or not, and I've had this thing forever. But the idea here is we need to get this needle into the green. That's going to tell us that we have enough vacuum in this system in order for it to be filled. So what you're going to do is you're going to plug this pipe here into the Uview, like so, and then you're going to connect this to your air compressor, your shop air, whatever it is that you have. And when you do that, you're going to watch your needle. Now once your needle is into the green, you're going to shut this valve, pull this end off, and then you're going to pop in this end here. This is going to go into your coolant bottle, and this is going to go into the piece that sits in your degas bottle or your radiator cap, and it's basically going to suck the coolant in. So we basically skipped the part where we put the system under a vacuum because it's very noisy. The compressor turned on, it was really loud. But basically you plug the pieces in that I showed you, plug it into shop air, it sucks the system under a vacuum, you shut this valve, you plug this hose setup in, and then you open the valve and it sucks the coolant in as you are seeing it happen in live action here. So now I'm going to go ahead, grab another coolant bottle, keep filling. Alright guys, so we filled it up. Again, we did it off camera. I just kind of showed you how to set the machine up. But we got a little bit over a gallon. We probably got about 1.5 gallons out of the system and back in. So that's 1.5 gallons of fresh coolant. We're going to drive it for a little bit, and we'll repeat this, like I said, a month or so, and you know, so on and so forth until we think we have enough fresh fluid in it. I just want to bring you guys outside with me really quick, so I want to show you exactly what we got out of this thing. So we filled this gallon completely back up with what we drained out, and we filled this one up a little bit more than halfway. So we got a little bit more than 1.5 gallons out of this, and from the research I've done, they hold about 3 gallons of coolant. So we got, I would say, just about half, maybe a little bit more than half of the coolant out of it, and replaced with some nice fresh coolant. Now you'll see here we are right at the full mark, which is good. So what we are going to do is we're going to go ahead, we're going to drive the car, take it for a ride, get it hot, and then just over the next couple of days, we're just going to take a peek at our coolant, make sure it's full. If it's not, we're just going to top it off. The vacuum filler should have gotten all of the air bubbles out, but there's always the chance that there's 1 or 2 stray bubbles that will pop, and when they pop, you know, that air is going to come up and be replaced with coolant, so the level may drop a little bit. But we're just going to go ahead, we're going to jack the car back up, we're going to put our shields back in place. Alright guys, so it's about midnight here in New Jersey right now, and you probably can't see me very well, but we just got done doing the coolant in this Lexus, and unfortunately sometimes I just can't get out here until this time to make these videos for you guys and to work on the car because I have a family. So, like I said, we're here. It's midnight. And we're going to go ahead, just take this thing around the block. When we get back, we're just going to go ahead and check our coolant level. Now, these lights are absolutely blinding me, so I'm not going to be able to drive with them on. But hopefully you can see something. But we're just going to run it until the coolant gauge comes up to half. That means my thermostat's probably open. And then when we get back to the house, we'll just double check the overflow and make sure that it's okay. All right, guys, we just went on our ride. You'll see our coolant level is still full, which means that our airlift did its job. It did not let any air pockets remain in that engine when we put it under a vacuum, and it sucked in all of the coolant. So this completely eliminated the need to burp or bleed the cooling system of air. That's why I use it. It's awesome. Again, I'm gonna leave one down in the video description below. I'll leave some Toyota Super Long Life coolant down below. It's pre-diluted. You don't have to mix it. You don't need anything. You just buy the coolant, dump it in. So if this helped you, again, please like, share, and subscribe. We'll see you on the next one.